Okay.
Call to order the town council meeting of Wednesday, May 6th, 2026. Let's do roll call, please. Start with Kate.
Kate's here virtually.
Tom here.
Steve here.
And Eric here. Lynn, excused absence. That's all. Yep, that's all for now. All right, let's stand for Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have the approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Gusty, second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And next up, we have the regular agenda. Any changes on that?
No.
Perfect. We'll take a motion.
Make a motion to approve the regular agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Tom, second by Gusty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ready. Next up, any conflicts of interest tonight? Seeing none, we can move on to public comment. So anybody in the public have anything to address that or an item on the consent agenda or not on the regular agenda? Now is the time. Any hands raised on Zoom land?
There is not.
Alrighty. Yes, we will close public comment and move on to council and committee reports.
Happy to be here. I have everything.
Sunday afternoon, evening, and then Monday, we had a strategic planning retreat for High Five Media, and we come out with a lot of really good direction for the next 5 years. I think the goal was to have the draft finalized in June, but it seemed like it was a great retreat. I gotta say, it's probably one of the best ones I've been in. So that's all I have.
Kate, I didn't want to skip you anything.
I have nothing.
All right, cool. Quick one for me, attended mayor managers meeting with Rob. Some good points on wildfire, water, and housing. So the I would say neighboring communities are all obviously aware and actively working on those topics as they are hot items for all of us. So more to come and hopefully good things. On that, we'll move on to staff reports.
Just some thank yous for the staff. I really appreciate Jay's work. I think me and Jay spend almost all the time I've been since I started trying to get the reimbursement for the town's $80,000 for Safe Streets for All, which we did that project back in 2004. We just never got reimbursed. So it took us a long time, and some of that's my fault of just being naive to what was done and how it was done. And Jay had to produce the same information like 3 times, but we did get it. Haven't received the money yet, but we're going to get it shortly. But thank you for that. The first Friday, I think all 3 of you were there. That was a really good one. And so I really appreciate Tracy at the barn for hosting that. And obviously Cindy does a lot of work, hustles, and makes these things happen. It was great that we had a lot of kids there. So we're thinking about how we can offer some kid activities at the next one at Evoke. Hopefully the weather will be nice, and maybe that makes it a little more attractive for parents that want a brief escape. So we're working on that. Who won? Oh, the cake contest. Cindy, do you know who won? We had several winners.
Okay.
We did have several winners because we had several categories. The best tasting cake was Daniela, but I'm sorry I don't have her last name in front of me. It was a pumpkin tres leches cake. It was quite delicious. And then we had cutest cake, most Minturn cake, ugliest cake. We had a youngest baker category. So we had lots of winners and prizes, and the little kids were very excited. We had 2 little girls who won prizes. They were stoked.
Nice.
We haven't received any applications for council at this point. We're still waiting. It's on the electronic sign now. Any other updates from you? Nope. Questions from council for staff?
Once again, great job with the manager's report.
Thank you.
Thorough.
Sorry I was a little late.
Do we have a timeline on the Little Beach Park playground?
Right now, we just had a meeting yesterday, working through just design. There's a lot of constraints, obviously, on the site and then also with the equipment. But as soon as they can kind of, I don't think we can move things, or we're trying to maximize what can fit. And then as far as aesthetics and small changes, I think that's what we want to come back to you in the community on. But there's all these parameters for the distances between certain equipment and all this stuff, and we're trying. That's been a little challenging. But Cindy's really been on the lead on that. So as soon as they kind of finalize those components of what can fit, Cindy, I think Jeff Spinell and Intermountain is going to do a construction plan, and then we can start doing some public outreach and see what people are hoping for, wanting as far as aesthetics
Nice.
and features, some features. Is that about right, Cindy?
Yes, perfect.
Did Dustin ever reach out to you about the range marshal deal?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I did get answers back from Forest Service on many of the concerns and questions we had. I don't think I talked about that in front of council fully, I think just maybe individually. But some of the concerns, just to touch base on real quick, the town can regulate the type of weapons used in a reasonable way. We can determine that closure would be based on when the county, changes its levels for restrictions. So that was good. The Forest Service is willing to not make the town liable for the existing contamination on the site. And another really important thing is Forest Service was also willing to allow us to make changes such as fencing and berming without going through environmental review. They think that can be administratively approved. So I just need to kind of go. So that was good. Some good news there. So we'll follow up. Maybe I'll try to get that ready for the 20th.
Cool. Something moving by June.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, on that note, we're gonna move on to special presentations. We have the Minturn Community Action Plan and the RTAP group on. So I'll turn it over.
Yeah. Floor is yours. And hopefully they're presenters and they can unmute. Yeah, I think they're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. Oh, it doesn't look like I can. So I sent a request.
Reclaim hub, okay. One moment, I should be able to fix that.
You guys want to introduce yourselves while we're waiting?
Yeah.
Angie, you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, thank you so much for letting us sit in on your meeting and get to share what we've been working on with you and get to join. It was super exciting. My name is Angie Baelish, and I am very recently graduated from the Masters of the Environment program. And I'm joined today with my 3 teammates, and I can pass it to Alex next.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us. Good to see some familiar faces, and we're excited to share about our plan. My name's Alex. I'm the only one who did not just graduate. I've got another year, so you'll see me around a little more. I'm originally from Boulder. I've had a wonderful experience working with everyone from the town, and we're, again, just super glad to be able to share our work with you today.
And my name is Erin Buchin. I'm originally from Glenwood Springs, but now I live in Denver, and also excited to share this presentation with y'all.
And I'm Erin Spencer. Excited to do this presentation and give you all the plan this Friday. That's really exciting. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky, and have been in Boulder for the program and will hopefully continue to stay in Colorado. So maybe Minturn in the future. I liked it there.
Oh, that'd be great.
Erin, if you want to try again to share, I had to switch the host computer. Is it not letting you?
It says the host isn't allowing sharing for this webinar.
Oh, hold on. I got it. 1 second. Shares.
Did you all get snow up there in the last couple days?
Yes.
Yeah, we got some snow.
Good.
Fast.
Better late than never, right?
Yeah.
Every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm.
Fun one this morning.
Where'd you have to go? Just did that.
Just here?
Oh, just kidding. Just like on the road on,
3-4 inches out.
Chickens.
That's this part from like 20 inches. That's this part from like 20 inches.
I'm gonna pull up the presentation because I haven't.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to figure out why it's not letting you share, because I'm gonna have to figure that out for other people here momentarily.
This is what
Maybe
happens
we
when
keep
you have
little-
small people and you're like, oh, we'll get through this. Yeah.
Never a dull moment. Sorry, one moment.
Keeps going.
I anticipate a power outage in 5 minutes.
Nope. Shoot.
It's like midterm.
I was stunned how nice it is now. Driving in this morning, it was.
Well, you probably had it really rough.
Pretty.
Yeah. I see Bell passed close this morning. Did you make it over before it closed?
Eastbound.
Oh, eastbound, what's the weather?
That's not why.
Truckers.
Well, they didn't put, this, to their credit, it was CDOT, they didn't have the chain on it.
No, heck,
And they got to the narrows and.
yeah. No, there were.
It's like we're making progress.
Go. Let's do it.
Everyone can see it now?
Yep.
Okay, you guys just let me know when you want me to move slides.
Okay. All right. Can do. Thanks, Cindy. All right. Well, we will hop into it. Since we already did our introductions, I will pass things off to Alex to show a real nice picture of our team, and then we can dive into talking about what we've been working on.
Yep. So you know us already. We can go to the next slide already. Perfect. Well, we just wanted to quickly, before we start, acknowledge Cindy and Rob, who are our points of contact for the town, and everyone who's been part of the steering committee for this whole Rural Technical Assistance Program. Your knowledge and willingness to really make us feel a part of the community and your drive and dedication to better your community has been super inspiring. So we've really enjoyed working with you all. Huge shout out to everyone here. And if you see them in town in the next couple days, give them a huge shout out. So we can go to the next slide.
Perfect. So, through this whole process, as many of you are familiar, we developed these 4 goals. Goal 1 is develop and manage Minturns outdoor recreation amenities. Goal 2, create a safe, connected, and accessible community. Goal 3 is prioritize economic renewal and local opportunity. And then goal 4 is amplify messaging on Minturns' authentic identity. So through the whole process, this is what we have aligned with and have moved forward to building out the actions and specific steps, which we are excited to break down further. So with that, Cindy, if we could go to the next, Alex, please take it away with goal number 1.
Yeah, perfect. So as Angie was mentioning, this goal really focused on thinking about Minturns' unique outdoor recreation assets, and rather than creating all kinds of new ones, really building on what's already there and managing recreation in a way that's sustainable, both for folks who are visiting the community and the unique wildlife and ecosystems you have in the area. So we came up with 5 action items that fall within this goal, and I'll run through them quickly and then we'll go into one a little bit more detailed. The first action is on the right. That's formalizing involvement of Minturn community voices in the Eagle County Regional Partnership Initiative. And this really just ensures that Minturn's priorities are represented in a regional outdoor recreation planning scale. So there's more detail on that in the plan. And then our second action item looks at establishing options and logistics for a campground within or near town boundaries. And we'll get into that one in a little bit more detail. Our third goal is supporting and expanding the existing Trail Ambassador program. So we learned about VVMTA's Trail Ambassador program and all the wonderful work they're doing, and we wanted to figure out a way to really make that help amplify Minturn's priorities across the region. So being sure that there is good visibility on trails, making sure wildlife closures are being respected, and then a whole host of other benefits. Our fourth action item is exploring the needs and process for involved managements and improvements on the gun range, which, as you all know, is already well underway. So we just wanted to make sure that was included as well. And then a fifth action item that came out after the workshop is evaluating future conservation and public use options for Highlands parcel. With this one, we know that this is very important to you all, so we wanted to be sure to include that within the plan. And then Cindy, we can go to the next slide. So action 1.2, this one came out of the workshop during the action prioritization and brainstorming session. Folks are really excited about the idea of potentially having a campground either within town boundaries or outside of the boundaries. We know that this conversation has happened before, but we were all pretty excited to see that there was a lot of interest in it. People were pretty understanding that if people were camping near the town, it's really just going to boost income for local businesses and manage a little bit of the overuse on some of the less managed campgrounds in the area. So the dispersed camping on Forest Service. We can go to the next slide, Cindy. I just wanted to quickly highlight a couple of the steps here. There's a lot more detail in the plan you'll receive on Friday, but we really wanted to be clear that this is not a new action item. It's really just a reopening of a door that has been somewhat closed for a while. So we wanted everyone to first start reviewing the past campground and RV discussions that have gone on, and then exploring case studies from other communities that have allowed this sort of a situation to see what their experiences have been. And then really moving on to building a plan that thinks about like feasibility, environmental and safety consideration, and then finally developing a proposal that you could bring to the public to get their support on it. And then I won't go through all of them, but all of the measures of success are on the right. Really, this is not developing a new campground. It's coming up with a plan that sets you all up if that's something that that the community decides they would like to prioritize. So that's goal 1. I'll go ahead and pass it to goal 2.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. So goal 2 is really just about strengthening how people move through Minturn by improving connections between neighborhoods, trails, downtown, and the river through safe and more accessible multimodal infrastructure. And as you're all familiar, Minturn's geography in this narrow, steep-sided mountain valley with the Eagle River along the eastern edge, it's creating a real constraint, which is a challenge when it comes to connectivity. So that paired with the highway and that serving as the main street and then Union Pacific of the rail corridor, many of these key connections are requiring navigating across the highway, the Eagle River and the rail lines. So because of all that, this goal doesn't just focus on physical improvements, but also long-term coordination, especially with Union Pacific, to unlock those critical access points that can make everyday movement easier and safer for the community. Thus, there are 3 main actions within Goal 2. First, Action 2.1 is about continuing to advance conversations with Union Pacific. One part focuses on identifying and building support around the community's highest priority access needs, and then the other continues progress on the longer term Rails to Trails initiative through regional and state coordination. Second, Action 2.2 is to develop a connectivity and circulation improvement plan. Through community input, we heard that there is a clear need for safer, more direct connections between downtown and key destinations like Grouse, Minturn Business Park, and Meadow Mountain. So this effort would build on both that feedback and the 2023 master plan. And then third, Action 2.3 focuses on improving transit access to Little Beach Park during peak visitation, which I will highlight on the next slide. So if we could advance, that would be awesome. Sweet. So I wanted to highlight Action 2.3 because it's a really strong example of something that the town can do and move forward independently without needing to wait or work too heavily with Union Pacific. So this action is focusing on improving access to Little Beach Park during peak visitation, which goes to support the broader goal of connectivity while also leveraging one of Minturn's key rec assets. At the workshop and in the post-workshop planning calls, we heard clear interest in a near-term actionable solution, and this is a really high-impact action that the town can advance relatively quickly and develop clear direction on the preferred long-term approach. So, improving transit access, this can help, as we are familiar, reduce traffic and parking pressures, easing congestion along Highway 24, and improving safety, especially with folks who are walking along the highway to get to Little Beach. It also helps strengthen that connection between rec and downtown, which in turn can help support local businesses. So now we can move to the next slide to unpack this action a bit further. So big picture, Action 2.3 is intentionally structured to be broad, so it allows more flexibility in exploring service options and testing a pilot approach. The first step here is internal alignment, where the town can determine their access goals to Little Beach and identify the priority events and peak periods for testing. And then from there, the town can coordinate with CORE to explore potential service options. This could be on-demand stop near Cemetery Road and Main Street, or temporary adjustments during those peak periods. At the same time, there's also the opportunity to look beyond transit and evaluate additional strategies like shuttles, partnerships, and other transit solutions that could complement this service. The next step is piloting these strategies during high use periods, which allows the town to record ridership, demand, usage, and safety improvements. And then finally, evaluating all of these results through the tracked ridership and incorporating community and visitor feedback. This will help the town come to a decision about the preferred long-term approach to address this challenge. So having this phased approach allows Minturn to take action in the near term while still aligning with the longer-term goals like enhanced transit stops or improved connections in the area. So that is all I have for goal number 2. I am going to pass it to goal number 3.
Sweet. So goal 3 is prioritize economic renewal and local opportunity. This goal is really talking about capitalizing on the existing amenities that Minturn already has and using them to increase, ideally, revenue in town. So getting people to stay who are already visiting, people who live there, and spend their money in town. So the 4 action items that came out of this goal planning was number 1, program Eagle River Street and enhance Eagle River Park as a central asset. And I'll talk about that more in the next slides. 3.2 is synthesize and prioritize renewal projects for downtown Minturn. So this is more of a research-based action item, trying to increase staff capacity to figure out what development projects are possible and renewal projects are possible, leveraging the DDA, things like that. 3.3, develop the community plaza space on First, Williams, and Nelson Street, kind of building off of the infrastructure projects that are already coming down the pike and trying to make that more of a in-town asset for the people who live there and who are visiting. And then 3.4, create a concept plan for the 2-acre parcel adjacent to the Minturn Fitness Center up in Malloy. And then Cindy, you can go to the next slide. So we heard at the workshop how much community members really value Eagle River Park for its proximity to the river and to downtown. But we also heard that there is currently a lack of capacity and access parking necessary around that area to really leverage these spaces as the economic and recreation assets that Minturn wants them to be. So this action kind of looks at how to leverage the infrastructure project that I mentioned earlier to kind of pilot ways to build up Eagle River Street and Park as a way to attract people to town, keep them in town, and create more of a community space downtown. You can go to the next slide. So to do this, this requires both steps that are focused on the programming side of things, as well as the infrastructure improvements that are necessary to make that work. So I just highlighted a few steps that are a part of Action 3.1 here on the slide. So you can see steps 1, 2, and 6 are more focused on the programming side of things. So assessing community interests and the types of activations that Minturn residents want to see in the park. Things we heard in the workshop were things like workshops or bike clinics, or more traditional events like moving music in the park to that area. And then implementing that input in the form of pilotable events and then assessing whether you all are enjoying them and if they're being effective. And then There's also steps like step 3, which are more geared towards ensuring year-round access to the park, improving access to the modern restroom, implementing lighting on Eagle River Street to increase safe feelings of safety and placemaking, and making sure that the park can be used in all seasons. And then I'm not going to go into the measures of success, but you can see them on the right there. And they all just kind of gear towards that last bullet, which is trying to move at least 2 events to that area at the end of the RTAP process. And I'll pass it to Erin for our 4th goal.
There we go. Great. So goal 4 is amplify messaging on Minturns' authentic identity. And this goal is about promoting Minturns' identity as an outdoor recreation destination through better communication, clearer wayfinding, and stronger promotion of local events and businesses, while making sure that Minturn is able to really stay grounded in what makes the town unique as a more funky anti-resort destination. So the action items associated with this goal are on the right-hand side, developing a cohesive brand, promoting shoulder season visitation, creating messaging on responsible tourism and recreation, enhancing signage, and improving tracking of visitor metrics. And Cindy, you can go to the next slide. Thank you. So I wanted to highlight action 4.4, enhance signage in and surrounding Minturn, not only because, like it says on the screen there, I feel like it really goes to support all 4 of the community goals, but it's also a conglomeration of about 3 to 5 sub-actions. And all of these actions were grouped together because they share a lot of the same steps, especially where coordination with CDOT is needed, given, as you all already know, Minturn's location on Highway 24. And you can go to the next slide. So zooming in on action 4.4.2, install wayfinding and safety signage in and around Minturn. Looking at the steps 2 through 4 that I pulled out here, these mainly focus on how to approach CDOT, or the Colorado Department of Transportation, with the improvements that Minturn would like to see regarding signage for truck traffic and getting them to slow down as they enter town, pedestrian safety, and more. And I also have those measures of success on the right-hand side that you all can read through. Most of them relating to how to approach CDOT and communicate with the representative there. But overall, 4.4.2 will help Minturn attract more visitors with the increased signage, improve pedestrian safety, and support residents and visitors alike in getting around town more efficiently. And we can go to the next slide. Oh, sorry, we forgot to take that one out. Well, yeah, that's good. Sorry. So that brings us about to the end of our presentation. But before we hop off, we wanted to go over what comes next. So as I was talking about earlier, we will be releasing the community action plan to you all this Friday, May 8th. And moving forward, Guinevere Nelson from the CSU Extension Office will be helping you all implement the goals and their corresponding actions over the next 12 to 24 months. And you can go to the next slide. Awesome. But yeah, we wanted to take some time to thank you all so much again for having us here today and for giving us the chance to speak with you all, not just about the work that the 4 of us have been doing, but really everyone in this room and in the community of Minturn. You all have been so great to work with over the past couple of months, and we're really hoping that this plan can be an actionable resource for you all. But yeah, that is all we have. If we have time for questions, and if you all have them, then great. And if not, we can hop off and get out of your all's hair.
Good.
I don't have any questions. Just want to thank to all of you for all the hard work that you put into this. It was great to meet everybody. Yeah, I made it to 2 of the sessions, but great job.
We do.
And just, thank you very much. And just for council, I think this is gonna be really helpful. There was a lot of things that came out of this that we learned as staff, but it's also something we can use going forward for grant work projects, and the fact that we had engagement, that's always something that they're looking for. So this is really gonna help us out a lot.
Yeah. I'd love to see all of that come to life. It's pretty cool. Cool plans. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
you
all. We
all.
appreciate the opportunity. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions for us, and we would love to hear if these actions get underway. We'd love some updates on them if you get a chance. So
We can definitely update you as things progress. Thanks, guys.
thanks, everyone. Have a great
Thank
night.
you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
so.
thank you. Right.
The table.
Yeah, that's cool. On to some business items. First up, we've got resolution number 21, series 2026, resolution implementing emergency water restrictions. Jay.
This is, we talked about this at the last meeting. The direction from council was to have Rob declare that it is an emergency so we could do it the next day and then bring it back to you guys to extend it through October. And that's what this will do. We are mirroring Eagle River water. So there's no confusion. There's, different water sources, but there's no confusion in the county that we're doing something turning right and they're all going left.
That's good.
Just one other thing, just for council, just for clarification direction. We have been trying to work with the garden to allow them to just water for agricultural crops. Last year they used about 20,000 gallons. We didn't even cut that maybe in half by putting in a drip system that's automated, and we would just restrict water into those, like fruit, vegetable producing plants. We think that can be reasonable. We think we can accomplish that, but I just want to check in with council on that. If that's something you're okay with us pursuing.
Would be inconsistent not to.
Okay, we'll keep you updated.
Cool. If there's no other questions, we can take a motion.
Make a motion to approve Town of Minturn, Colorado resolution number 21. Series 2026 resolution of the Town of Minturn, Colorado imposing outdoor watering restrictions within the Town of Minturn.
I'll second that.
Motion by Tom, second by Gusty, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes. We can move on to resolution number 23, series 2026, resolution approving a construction administration agreement with HDR for managing the water treatment plant construction.
We've been having a lot of back and forth, as some of you on council know, with HDR. Our town attorney Mike Sawyer has been involved. Our town engineer Jeff Spinell's been involved, and we don't do this kind of thing that often. We don't build infrastructure like this, and so it's been a little challenging for us to sort through it. But we did our best to try to do that so council can make an informed decision. I think one of the things that we talked about last time is we requested some revisions after some staff review. We got some revisions and a bit of a lowering of the cost. I think one of the things that we've come to understand is that about, I think it's about 1.2% of, so I think we're a little over, I think we're somewhere approximately around 7.5% of project costs with this. Of that 7.5, 1.2% is for programming and setting up digital systems as part of the plant. And usually that's something that's contracted out and would be a separate cost. So I think when you incorporate that, we're feeling a little bit more comfortable with these numbers. I did provide you with a spreadsheet of some outstanding questions that we have, some things I think staff can work through with HDR, and some questions we've gotten as we've kind of been working through this over the last few days. And I think we have HDR online? We have Jared and Al Smith, who would be our inspection engineer on site. There's Mr. Smith, great. Why don't we just start off with, do we have any questions or concerns we want to start with?
I thought, based on this rather comprehensive summary that already delineates that, it'd be probably simpler for them to just go right down the punch list. As opposed to us asking what's already been provided.
And I sent that to you, Jared and Al, right before, just some compilation of some remaining questions we had and some last minute questions. I think a lot of these we can work through at a staff level. A lot of these are just clarifications in contract language. And then you did provide to me, Jared, this afternoon, or maybe it was this morning, clarification that we will need to obtain somebody for third-party inspection and materials testing. And I will talk with Jeff Spinell about that probably tomorrow. And you recommended Kumar, and that's who we're working with on the bridge. So that is something we will have to contract out.
Is that the only thing we're looking at that have to be contracted out, or do we? I just don't want to see any surprises.
That was it, except for that original networking piece as to whether we want.
I think most of these center on clarifications of who's doing what when. One of the big ones was the CDPH closeout documentation. I don't think there's anything we're aware of at this point. I think we wanted clarification on what systems integrator meant in that contract language. Is there anything else, Jared, you think that's come up that the town needs to? We're working on builder's risk insurance. Mr. Sawyer's been helping me out with that. That's another thing we'll have to cover. But any other things, Jared, do you think we missed?
I don't know if you can hear you. You smell smoke a little bit.
Can't hear you, Jared. But maybe that's us. Could be us.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about now?
There you are. We got you.
All right. Amateur hour over here. Sorry about that. So Rob, I was hearing you talk a little bit there about one of the CDPHE closeout documents, and what that amounts to in this project is going to be a construction complete notice, basically stating from your engineer of record, which would be me, that the water plant was constructed per our design, which was approved by CDPHE. Easy enough for us to do, and as far as I'm aware, that's going to be kind of the closeout with CDPHE when we get to that point. So there's not a whole lot for us to do at that point, so long as the project has progressed per our design.
I think one other thing, just to the last question, is if it on cybersecurity review or validation, that would probably be something we would work with our IT company. That's not fully included in this scope. So we would need to decide whether we want to, and I think that's a point that Council Member Neubauer brought up, was cybersecurity review. So that's something we could look at separately if we want to do that.
Yeah, and we're happy to be, you know, as I've always been, responsive and flexible to help you all out. And the cybersecurity stuff is relatively new to me. Right, I know water, but not so much of the cybersecurity stuff. The good news is I have a team of people that do this a lot, but it is kind of a not a novel frontier, but close to a novel frontier of an industry. More so in the water space recently, with some of the vulnerabilities that have been exploited from utilities over the past couple of years. So it's ramping up in significance for infrastructure like this, and so we have adapted, and we can meet with you to discuss that in more detail. What I can do is get the people at HDR that know that stuff really well in touch with you, and I'm happy to facilitate that to answer your questions better than I can this evening.
Thank you, Jared. Sure. I think one other point for Council too, and I talked with Council Member Connects just before the meeting, this that we discussed potentially removing the lodging costs, but I think right now the town's capability to provide lodging is non-existent. So I think whatever in the negotiated contract, we want to include that back in. I think it's approximately $26,000, $27,000. And I think at that amount we're amenable to that. But we would need to put that back in.
Okay.
I guess, and one thing I think we could consider, if the council is comfortable with, is working through making sure these clarifications are made, and then if 2 or 3, if we want a council committee to just review and be able to approve next week with the final language, make sure everything we're comfortable with it. And if we're comfortable with it, we can move, and if we're not, we could send it back to council on the 20th. But that's just something for you to consider.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It that way.
Is there any other questions you had, Gusty, that you want
to? I know we were working trying to get the costs down, but we also don't want to compromise, the quality of what we're getting out of this water plant. So it's kind of you got to weigh it out, and you know, we know that you guys have done the engineering on, it's only, you know, logical that you guys do the inspections too. So I don't have any other questions. I think if we could work through this list, that would answer everything.
Okay, great.
And they're able to do that between now and next week,
Absolutely.
no issues.
Shall we, yeah, Kate, I want to give Kate a chance too. Any other questions from Kate or? All good, perfect. In that case, we will take a motion.
Do we want to approve this now and
Yeah, with the
I would say, yeah, a motion to
approve.
have it reviewed by the mayor and mayor pro tem before any final, and with the inclusion of lodging costs back in.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2023, series 2026, a resolution of the town council of the town of Minturn, Colorado, approving amendment number 05 to the agreement with HDR Engineering for engineering services during construction for the Minturn water treatment plant, and authorizing the town manager and town attorney to negotiate and execute an amendment and related documents. And we will add the housing costs back in, and the list that we have will be reviewed by staff and then finally reviewed by mayor pro tem for final approval.
Right. Motion by Gussie, second by Tom, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Al, for taking the time to be here with us.
Absolutely. Let us know how we can help. I'll call you next week, Rob.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Moving on to ordinance number 4, series 2026, second reading.
Like you said, this is the second reading. The only thing that changed is my math where I corrected to $62 and we should be good to go. This will take effect on the July 5th bill for the June uses. So 2 months.
Very good.
And there's a note on top of each bill also that this is happening. It's been adjusted down to 45. And we're good to go. Yeah.
Any questions? Any? Since the ordinance, I'll open to public comment. Anyone from the public have any thoughts or questions? Nobody online?
No one online.
All right. Please close public comment. And I will take a motion.
make a motion, town of Minturn, to approve town of Minturn, Colorado ordinance number 04, series 2026 ordinance modifying, setting and approving enterprise fund debt service rates for 2026 as adjusted by the 2026 water plant loan for the enterprise fund of the town of Minturn, Colorado.
I'll second that.
All right, motion by Tom, second by Gusty. We'll do roll call, please.
Kate,
Comment.
Gusty, aye.
And Eric, aye. Motion passes. We can move on to resolution number 25, series 2026.
Yes, so this is a resolution authorizing us to negotiate and execute a construction contract with Eric Heron for the Town Hall apartment reconversion project. He was one of the original 3 bidders. We originally gave a notice of intent to award to Coleman Custom. We were not able to negotiate a contract, but you know, that's okay. We're ready to move on. And I reached out to Mr. Heron, and he said he was interested in doing the work, and we did some projects with him last year. He really has delivered some exceptional work for an exceptional cost for us in the past. So we think that this may be the best course of action for the town. Any questions from council?
Get it online.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing that get off moving.
Yeah.
How soon do you think you'd be able to start?
He would be ready to go next week if we can get the contract signed. One of the things, there was a lot that I learned from this process, and some of that's on me, is I think going forward, we need to kind of, when we're going out to bid for certain construction projects, particularly these that are not overly complex, like the water treatment plant, I think providing Mr. Sawyer's firm base contract and kind of those things that we need to agree to up front, so people know, look, these are the terms we're willing to agree to. If you can't do those terms, then let's not do a bid. So that was one of the big takeaways. So in the future, we're going to just provide our template contracts up front so people know what they're getting into.
It's good practice. Excellent. On that, I will take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 25, series 2026. A resolution authorizing the town manager to negotiate and execute a construction contract with Eric Heron for the town hall apartment reconversion project.
Motion by Gussie, second by Tom, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Got a motion. And on to discussion direction items. Consideration of council positions on select pending state legislation.
Nothing major has changed to inform the council of. Two of the bills that we've supported are still in process. I recently submitted the council's support and testimony on House Bill 261233, which is a bill that would change the way commercial property tax protests occur. That's a really important bill, but probably one of the least talked about ones. So we did submit our support and testimony on that on Monday. We'll keep watching it. And then another bill that we had support on is still going through. That was measures to advance renewable energy projects on previously disturbed lands. I think that was the one that we did. That one's still working through the legislature, and a lot of the bills are starting to die off as expected. Any questions or concerns about current bills? Okay.
Thanks for staying on top of that.
No problem.
In that case, we can move on to future meeting items.
We've got presentation from Speak Up, Reach Out at the next meeting, acceptance of your audit.
Right. I was wondering if anybody had a problem if that was done, if they attended by Zoom. I usually like to ask that just because sometimes a warm body's nicer than not, but
I'll be on Zoom, so.
I mean, who knows what the weather's gonna be like?
Yeah, no problem.
I don't know if they will or not, but I wanted to offer that they could.
No problem.
Okay.
We will hopefully have a council member to appoint. We need to discuss committee appointments, and I think there's some things that me and the mayor talked about briefly via email today about some of these commitments I think are a bit of a significant ask for this council. So I think we need to decide the things we have capacity to participate in and feel the need to, and things we do not. We are going to go over some of the speed data we've been collecting for several months. We had a resident come in with concerns about speeding on Boulder and Pine. We are going to have a response for that. It's just been a little slow. There are some things we can do, and we want to talk to council about that. Impact fee update. We went under contract. I'm just giving you an update on this. We went under contract for a study on impact fees, but I think one of the things that's occurred is they're good at putting impact fees together, but what they're not good at doing is maybe assessing your capital needs and putting numbers to those things. So we're putting a pause on that project while we can maybe put together a bit of an ad hoc capital improvement plan that puts values on some of our facilities and structures to incorporate. So that's where that is at. We will come to you with 2 resolutions. We'd like to apply to a CPW human bear conflict reduction grant for some funding for bear-proof trash cans and other things. And then there's also a Colorado Circular Communities grant we would like to use for a recycling compactor. Probably some more additional things to come, but that's what we got for now. Anything else, Cindy? You got something?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The only thing I had is if anybody knows anybody that wants to run for council or be on the council, the deadline's it's May 13th, which is a Wednesday. And just if anybody is interested, have them send me a letter or contact me.
I think they're doing a really good job. I see the big ad in the building, and it's out there.
It's out there. We've had it all over the place, and
maybe we'll just do induction servitude.
And I will stress that a lot of times people will do this on the last day possible, which is kind of why we allowed like 2 weekends, and people do it on the weekend and then go forward with that. But
if we want, guys, I can do a couple more things. I did today. I just put it on the VMS board here at Town Hall, and I can do another e-blast if we think that would be helpful.
Good help.
Yeah.
that probably
Can't hurt.
We definitely want to get somebody that's interested in it and not kind of, the last 6 months and then they're gone.
The pulse.
Yeah.
Well, in light of the lack of applications, I'm a little concerned about any of those people existing, so.
It very well could be.
I thought I had somebody, but
Well, yeah, and I think I might have reeled him in too fast and through the hook. I
You
mean,
overwhelmed him, Jay.
what'd you do?
I just said, hi, how are you doing?
You have a pulse.
You spooked him.
Keep trying.
Get somebody good.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Great, that's it.
All right, go with that. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
Motion by Tom, second by Misty, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
It's almost a record, Eric. Look at that. Good job. I thought we were gonna be on HDR all night.
No, thankfully, no.
Well, thanks for putting this